Studios in Brea, California, here is the Doyle'dIn podcast.
Now, welcome to the Doyle'dIn podcast. I'm your host, Drew, joined by my dad right here. Not Deadpool, but the guy next to me. And we're here to talk about Saturday night's main event. More specifically, Saturday night's main event on December 13th, 2025. 4 matches, which I think is the normal for Saturday night's main event, right? It's usually 4 matches.
Yeah, short and sweet, just a filler show, but usually something happens. It's always been one of those shows that is thrown in there just to fill in the gap, but also between pay-per-views or PLEs, but also, present something interesting. And usually shit goes down, so it's
okay.
4 match. Yeah.
And what were your overall thoughts on this Saturday night's main event? I mean, this is a big one. This is it's John Cena's last anything with WWE as a performer. So
that's the one we've all been waiting for, right? I mean, it's the one that anybody who's got any interest in the wrestling industry, even if you're not a huge WWE fan, maybe AEW or other promotions, but you're still going to tune in and to see, one of the biggest superstars ever in the history of the industry go out in a blaze of glory. So the meltdown after it on social media was hilarious. I love it. So many people who just don't understand squat about the industry. Even people who are retired pro wrestlers, they just don't get it. They just honestly have zero freaking clue about the finish and how it was the right way to go. But more so, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you're right or they were wrong. And that's one thing that really stood out on social media is how many people were just blasting WWE because they were wrong in what they did. And they know better. And what you did was not the right thing because I don't care if that's how the industry was in the 80s and the 70s and even the 90s. This is now, and that's not what we wanted to see. Like a bunch of this petulant little kids who didn't get their way, It's so pathetic. Last show, I even thought that maybe they'll have Cena go over and then Gunther get some, it doesn't matter. We all have our thoughts and opinions on how it could go or how maybe we would have booked it. But at the end of the day, no matter what, number one, it's Cena's career, not ours. And we're privileged to be able to watch him perform over the last 25 years. And it's the WWE's product. So it's really up to them. And you can really say, I didn't like it or I did like it. That's cool. No problem with that. That's your opinion. But you don't get to say that they were wrong in what they did. They did what they felt was right for them. And I don't care how much you paid for a ticket to a WWE show. You can't go to a wrestling show and be upset that you didn't get what you wanted as far as results and matches. First of all, they're predetermined backstage. They don't send out a survey to little ticket holders. How would you like us to finish this match so we can keep you happy?
Don't give them ideas.
Oh, my God. But, for these guys to go, well, that's not how I wanted to see it. It's like, then don't go to the show. It's that simple. Wrestling is a live performance. And, even though they have a lot of the results predetermined already, there are some results that change on a dime, depending on the crowd reaction. We've seen that happen many times. And, even JBL talks about one where him and Eddie were having a match. I think it was him and Eddie. And his promo that he cut before the match got him so much heat with the crowd because they were in Eddie's backyard. And he ripped on the Texas crowd and the Hispanics and all that stuff. And it was just like, it was a great promo that got such great heat. And Vince changed the finish before the match even started. But the guys were already out in the ring.
Wow.
that's just the way it goes, and it worked out perfectly because now you have this heat-seeking heel who's just, on fire. And that's what they did with Gunther, Cena's leaving. Cena gets the tradition of the industry. Just because others have forgotten about it in the last 10 years doesn't mean it should be gone, right? So Cena did the right thing for him. Whether I agree with it or not, I respect it and I appreciate it. And, it was a good match. It started off nice and slow, built up to a faster pace, got things going a little more aggressively. And then towards the end, it was, oh, he's got him. Oh, no, he doesn't. Now he's got him. Oh, no. Oh, shit. It was back and forth with some, some attitude adjustments. And, of course, then the sleeper hold. And, it was a good roller coaster of emotions for the last match because at certain points, I still wasn't sure how it was going to finish. And when the finish happened and Cena tapped out, I was like, wow, okay, interesting. But I wasn't, oh my God, that's not how I wanted it to go. It's like, get over it, you over emotional children. This is an industry that continues on with or without John Cena. And Gunther is now the biggest heel in the industry, like it or not. And, what he did was phenomenal. He played it to the hilt, going all the way up from, last Raw, his promo, and gave it a great match and looked like a super villain in there. And, I thought the finish was great. I thought it worked. It wasn't what I was expecting, and that's fine. That's what they wanted to do, and it was like, okay, cool. I see what they did, and they built Gunther up, and gave Cena a great farewell, and then there was this whole, giving him the 2 belts in the ring, and that's so ridiculous. And well, they did the same thing with Hogan when Hogan retired. Rock came out and Cena came out actually. And they both gave him the titles to hold for a bit. It was the last time you're going to get to hold these belts,
Because it was the only belts he hasn't held, right? Wasn't that kind of like Cena?
Hogan? Cena?
Those are he hasn't held those specific belts, though.
He's held every belt. He's held every title.
No, I know, but not those belts.
Oh, the newer ones? Yeah. I guess not. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right, but the significance of, you're the GOAT, the guy who held these belts and brought prominence to this company for so long, and here's the last, your last hurrah with these belts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a nice touching moment, and that's something that I think we'll see continue down the road with other people. But yeah, what did you think of the finish? What did you think of the main event and Cena losing his last match?
Well, I understand people's dislike for the finish. I understand I understand how people can be upset from it, but like what we talk about on the show, it's always long-term storytelling, and this is just another stepping stone for Gunther to be that villain that, I don't know, I think we're going to have a babyface take out Gunther that that's not even in the limelight right now, that we don't even know. I think somebody else is going to come in and take out Gunther. Maybe somebody from NXT that they want to build up or something. But I think this is the perfect opportunity for WWE to have that top heel. We have a top babyface. It's Cody Rhodes. It's, who else? CM Punk, I guess, if you want to call it that. But we don't have a top heel, and Gunther is going to be that top heel, that just unstoppable force that we'll see. And the reason I think it works so well is because Gunther has such an old school wrestling style. And that's what the match really reminded me of, is old school wrestling. I mean, we started the show, started Doyledin with, watching some old school wrestling and then talking about it. And, the format has changed a little bit. Now we're talking about current stuff. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is before we started talking about that current stuff, we were watching the old stuff and I was getting more familiar with it because of it. And seeing the Gunther and Cena match, it just reminded me of those kinds of matches. And I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic finish, and just to have Gunther be that guy to make Cena submit is just, I think it's fantastic. And everybody being upset about it, I think that's how you're supposed to feel. I think that's the point. And I think people are getting too wrapped up into their feelings and instead of thinking about the bigger picture. But that's what I think. That's what I think.
Absolutely. So pause real quick.
Yeah. And we're back. All right.
Yeah.
Now
anyway,
that we've given our thoughts on the John Cena match, I mean, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, no, just, it just blows my mind, like, again, even the people who have been in this industry, like former wrestlers who retired, so-called journalists on X, just bashing the finish. It's like, you don't get to decide. None of us get to decide this. We just gotta, hey, did we like it or not? Okay, cool. And if you didn't like it, just say you didn't like it. But to say that was wrong and WWE screwed this up, and it's like, no, they didn't. They didn't. They did it the way Cena wanted to do it. And he is, above all else, is the person who should have final say in this. It's his 25-year career. He has made this company hundreds of millions of dollars while making millions of dollars for himself. So he had every right to go out how he wanted to go out. And I'm sure, WWE had a say in it. And they came to an agreement, and if it's not something that Cena didn't want to do, he wouldn't have done it.
Yep.
And he'd have that right. So everybody needs to get off their freaking high horse and stop thinking they have some clout in this industry when they just have a podcast like we do, and don't have any say or any history in the business, and have zero clout when it comes to a show, and just enjoy for what it is. This is the problem with social media and these guys is like that, and they all sound so loud, and it's like, come on, guys,
yeah,
it's done. Now move on and take it for what it is.
Well, I mean, you look at it the other way, right? If Cena were to win, what would that even do? What would that even do?
I would kill Gunther.
It would kill
the
Gunther.
Guy who's staying.
Yeah. And
he's the guy who lost Cena.
There's no positive for anybody other than the people who, convince themselves to spend buttloads of money to be in that theater for Cena winning. There's no positives to it.
Right.
So I really don't, see how people can genuinely be upset. I mean, booing in the theater because Gunther won, sure, that's okay. I mean, you're supposed to do that,
Absolutely.
But to actually be upset and to actually like let it affect you is, I feel like that's something different entirely. That's a mental illness right there. I mean, come on.
I'll never understand how people get so worked up over a sporting event. Like, gosh, I mean, look at me. My teams are horrible, right? I mean, and my Angels suck. Right, Notre Dame didn't make the playoffs. I didn't get upset over that. It's like, it is what it is. Move on. Well, raising my blood pressure over this kind of stuff that makes zero sense. It doesn't change anything. And my Colts have fallen apart. It's like, yeah, you go like, oh, for crying out loud, come on, man. But then you move on. I mean, there's way more important things in life to be thinking about and to be upset about than a show that you have zero control, or a sport you have zero control over. I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, if we agreed with them, I mean, I think we would, still be, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? We would still be cordial, I guess, with how we go about it. We wouldn't be, like these people. I'm sure there's people who are going to not even watch WWE anymore because of it. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, but I feel like those people are probably the outliers. But I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal. I think it was a great match. It was a good match to end on for Cena's career, in my opinion, and it it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and I don't think
Good
you
way
can
to
say
go.
the same about that towards any of the other matches on at Saturday night's main event. You know,
No. I mean, you know, the first match was Cody Rhodes and
Oba Femi.
Obafemi. I don't watch NXT, so this is my first time really coming across this dude.
I didn't
Big,
even watch the match.
yeah, big Jack dude. Looks good in the ring. You know, the promos might hurt him. He needs a mouthpiece because it is hard to understand him being from, I think, Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I didn't know.
yeah, so,
I don't know who this guy is. I've never
but hey,
seen
it
him.
was a decent match. And then in comes Drew McIntyre, and I was kind of like, okay. It was a very weird finish. Um, and that's not how I would have wanted. No, but I thought that was kind of a flat finish. It kind of didn't really go over well with the live crowd, and I would have maybe done it a little differently with that, because you know I hadn't seen Drew involved with either of these guys, so for him to come out there, the first match of the show was kind of like it's kind of weird, you know.
Yeah.
So I would have had him come down to ringside and just kind of, you know, loiter around the ring for a little bit, kind of pique people's interest, like, oh shit, what's going to happen here? Like, you know, and then make it maybe seem like he's going to jump Cody, but then jump the other guy or jump the other guy and then jump Cody, you know, or at least play it up a little bit, build it up just a little bit. But it was kind of out of left field. And I think that the crowd was very confused with it. But other than that, it was a decent match. I think Cody got a burst eardrum because he was bleeding all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it seemed like he was fine because he was out there later and it was all cleaned up. So
Yeah, I'm over Cody Rhodes. Like, you know,
he's got to turn heel.
It's got to turn heel or something. You know, give the belt to Drew McIntyre. He deserves it, and I would like to see Drew McIntyre's title run, and that I think that would be entertaining. But
yeah, I mean, he had one during COVID, maybe.
It wouldn't matter because I don't watch SmackDown. So
yeah.
So
Same.
and so that was what Cody Rhodes, and then next was Sol Ruka versus Bayley.
Great match, by the way.
Okay.
Great match. Bayley, you know, the veteran in there, she really helped Sol Ruka. You know, I'm not saying that she needs help in there, but you know, always with a veteran and a younger person coming up to the next level.
Yeah.
You need some guidance in there, and so she was really good with Sol Ruka, and Sol Ruka's tremendous talent and phenomenal. I think in the ring, she's got a huge future ahead of her. I think she's going to be the future of the women's division. And yeah, this was a great match. And for her to go over on Bayley, you know, good job, Bayley. Where's the outrage there?
Nah, they're women. Who cares? AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater.
This one I did not really watch, nor did I really care about.
I didn't see any of these matches, but John Cena versus Gunther.
Yeah, well, this match, I mean, it's again the tags. It's like, come on, do something better. And it looks like they are, but putting Usos back together, and then you know the New Day and all that stuff. More established teams are actually teams, you know, that you can believe in. This AJ Styles team and Dragon Lee just has never really appealed to me, and I believe it should be going away pretty soon. They'll drop the belts to somebody here in the next month.
Maybe
and
the Usos.
Maybe the Rumble, you know.
Maybe
the Usos.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you want to turn the Usos heel, I think that's the way to go. You know, but
and then
I think what we saw on Raw, AJ needs to come away from that, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. That's what I was going to talk about, but we'll get to that when we talk about Raw. But yeah, I don't. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, I think it reminds me of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. Like it's just kind of like two different kinds of people on a tag team, you know.
Right. Which can work if you present it that way. Like we had X-Pac and Kane back in the day, right? But we put them together with the emphasis on like they're so different. We're going to put them together because one's a big giant red machine and one's a high flying, DX guy, and you knew the differences, and that's why it worked so well. But when you put them together with just hey, this is a great tag team, and this is, you try to make it something like it's like the Heart Foundation or the Rockers or something like that. It's kind of like, no, it's not. It's definitely not. So I mean, I think it got over for wet minute, but other than that, I think it's time to give somebody else a shine here with the belts.
And hopefully excel this tag team division that should be doing a lot better than some other divisions. But yeah.
But then so that was pretty much it. And of course we had the whole Cena thing at the end, which we already discussed, and went off the air with Cena giving the salute, and I think Stu capturing his last moment there was nice.
Yeah.
And Stu doesn't get enough credit, man. He's been there since before I was even there.
Dang.
I mean, he was the one, always in there with Austin and Bubba. I think Bubba's still there too. Bubba's another camera guy who might do more of backstage stuff though.
Gotcha.
But they've been there, man, 26, 27 years maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean. So that's just think about it, right? So Stu, the camera guy, for example, he's filmed The Rock, Austin, Angle, Hogan, Brett, Sean, Hunter, all those guys.
Wow.
What a career he's had as a camera guy. I mean, and he's done such amazing work. So he deserves a lot of credit too. It's awesome to see.
You think they'll do something for them when it's their time to retire?
Oh, they got to go in the Hall of Fame. There's definitely like Stu and Bubba. I wish they put Mark Eaton in there, who was the timekeeper for years in WWE. He used to throw Austin the beers back in the day. But he was there for years. Even before that, God, he took a super kick from Shawn Michaels during the Iron Man match with Brett and Shawn back at WrestleMania. What was it? 12, 13. I can't remember. So he was there a long time too, and he got released. And Jim Johnson, who did all the music back in the day, before they went the whole, popular music groups route. But I know it didn't end on good terms, and hopefully they can smooth that over with the new ownership and all that. But he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as well. There's a lot of guys that make that show work that you don't see on camera, and they deserve credit. And to put those guys in the Hall of Fame I think, is very important.
Yeah. So obviously Cena's going in the Hall of Fame this year,
obviously,
or next year, I guess. Whatever. I'm already in 2026 mode. Who do you think there is also going to be in the Hall of Fame this year?
Jeez, I don't know, man. Maybe Cena will request Stu to go in the Hall of Fame at the same time as him. That would be cool, and that's something that Cena would do. He's such a selfless dude.
Yeah.
But
who do you think will Cena have induct him into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I could see him wanting Vince. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that final video they showed when Hunter was on the ring apron with him, they had a clip of Vince on there, was surprising and awesome to see.
I was watching Cena's reactions that whole time, and it looked like that was what got him to break.
Yeah,
that's what got him to cry.
It's amazing how close people can get to Vince when they're at Top Dog, because Vince is not just a promoter. He genuinely cares for the talent, and especially if you're the top dog, I mean, he's going to take you under his wing and teach you all the simple little things that work in wrestling. And you ask Taker, Cena, Austin, Rock, as much as he won't admit it, Brett, Sean, Hunter, and he finally admitted it, more so than he used to, Hogan. And they're all top guys who made, a lot of money in the industry being the top guy, but also helped create a huge following for the company. But Vince is the guy who really, helped mold a lot of what they do out there and when to do it. It's a kind of like timing as a comedian,
Yeah.
And Vince taught a lot of the guys that, and he, you can hate him all you want or judge him all you want, but without Vince, this industry is not what it is today. And you can say, well, Hogan, well, cool, but who gave Hogan the stage?
Mm-hmm.
Who gave Austin the stage? Who gave Cena the stage? Who gave Cena that second chance when he was almost getting released? Some people don't even know that back in 2002, he almost got released because the gimmick wasn't working. And then, I don't know if you know the whole story, where they're in Europe and he's on a tour bus with some of the guys who are doing little battle raps or whatever you call it.
Oh yeah, he
freestyle.
talked about this on Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes, yeah. So
I haven't watched that yet, so
yeah, it's good.
yeah. And Stephanie heard it, and Stephanie's like, because he was outshining everybody.
Yeah.
Because he used to do that. Because he's a huge fan of rap, always was, and so Stephanie heard it, and then she's like, well, how do you want to try and implement that? And it's like, fuck yeah, let's go. And the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
And then his brother is the one who came up with he didn't come up with it, but he told him, hey, do that, I don't know if you know that or not. Did they mention that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that comes from, and a lot of people say, well, his brother didn't make it up. It's like, no, he didn't say his brother made it up. I mean, I don't know what he said in the Joe Rogan thing, but I know Tupac Shakur had a song called "You Can't See Me" or something like that, and he did that in a song, and that's where his brother, because him and his brother watch and listen to rap, so his brother said, hey, why don't you do that, based on the Tupac, video or whatever it was, and that it just stuck,
Mm-hmm.
Did he talk about Five Knuckle Shuffle?
I don't think so. No.
So, and this is where, Vince has always been that lovable grandpa kind of guy, as smart as he is. And so Five Knuckle Shuffle is another, term for jerking off. Well, Cena came up with that name for his move, and Vince didn't get it at all. So like, I love that name. Go with it, And so it's like, yeah. So the joke was on Vince there for that, but
that's funny. That's hilarious.
when he found out what it really meant, it was too late and it was already over. And I still think to this day, a lot of people don't even know that's what it refers to.
Yeah,
but
they don't.
Yeah, so,
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, so it's. There's a lot that went into the making of John Cena and how it evolved over the years. And, again, Vince getting the platform, he brought the talent, and, magic was made.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, it's going to be very rare to get similar events to that nowadays, just because everything's so ran like a tight ship, where I feel like they're not going to give these wrestlers, certain wrestlers, the room to mess around with their own stuff, like they gave Cena or things like that. They saw the potential and they're like, all right, this gimmick, let's see what you can do with it, And I feel like we're not going to see that with the current wrestlers. I don't know.
I mean, look what we're seeing with Braun Breaker. I mean, Seth gets hurt and it's like, okay, let's give Braun the mic and put him as the top dog in the group and see what you can do.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you have someone like Triple H there, who again studied under Vince, as far as not even just a talent being directed by Vince, but also learning the industry and the business side of things under Vince and alongside Steph. He's got, I think, the same mentality as Vince. And, a lot of people don't give him a fair shake. So anything that goes wrong, anything they don't like, Triple H is a piece of shit. Like the whole Cena thing is that, the people that are upset about it, like little children, are mad at Hunter, and it's always, you got to blame somebody, right? So he's the guy. Instead of saying, well, if it was Cena's idea, why not blame Cena?
Yeah.
Regardless. But Hunter, learning under Vince and we've seen a lot of what Vince would probably do recently. I think, again, I mentioned this last episode, that I think Triple H is getting more control and more freedom creatively, because these last couple of weeks are very not Attitude Era-esque, but very pro wrestling-esque.
I would agree.
Like we talked about the promos, the backstage stuff, what was missing, because I think we had, and now, the TKO guys trying to dictate what was going to be out there, and it wasn't working. So now we have it back in the right hands, it seems, and Hunter's the guy, and give him, to get on his back about the whole Cena thing, I think is just wrong.
Are you afraid that because of the backlash we're seeing from fans, TKO is going to view it as something completely different than it should be viewed?
No, because I guarantee you nothing changed as far as ratings for Raw. If anything, it probably went up.
Okay.
Because now people want to tune in to see what's going to happen with Gunther.
Yeah.
Whether they want to admit it or not, that's exactly what happened. And I can tell you right now, I'll put a wager on it that the ratings or the streaming, whatever the numbers you call it for on Netflix, are up this week because of that main event.
Yeah.